How will the new F-15 compare to the other new Su-27SM? Let's take a look. Hello guys, once again, it's Matt. Thank you all the members and patrons. Make sure to subscribe. And we have here War Thunder real-time information. We are in the dev server. And I'm gonna show to you guys a little bit on the performances differences of these aircraft in some loadouts, okay? So we're going to take a look on the parameters. Not gonna dogfight to try to take the pilot skill out of the question, but yeah, we're going to test it out, the heaviest options, a middle option, and the lightest options in a normal battle for you to actually take a look on how you can actually fly. First things first, we gotta say that you probably should never do this with the F-15. Take the conformal fuel tanks, the extra fuel tanks, external fuel tanks, and then the full M120s. This makes this aircraft really heavy. So we're going to test out some of the stuff. For example, you can take a look right up there in the top left corner. We have the turn in degrees per second. So we're going to maintain 1000 meters in the same map, and then we are going to try to turn to see how much turn we can actually pull with this. It's not gonna be much. We're gonna do Mach 1 and then pull. So yeah, around 10 degrees per second. As you see, very heavy aircraft. It doesn't turn very well when it's this. I mean, it's using what? Like an hour and 40 minutes of fuel. So yeah, this is why it's not turning very well. 10 to 11, of course, as you see. So very slow. Let's continue to turn over here. 16 degrees, 18, 20. It got down. So it peaked at, I mean, I'm losing a lot of altitude as well, but it peaked at what, like 20, but just shortly, and then it maintained to the actual like 10s or something like that. And the aircraft, it already has, like, it's very heavy. So that's why I just don't think this is a very useful loadout. Okay, guys, it's very heavy. You shouldn't use this unless you are just going to the battle. But that's the thing, even with the conformal fuel tanks, you still have plenty of fuel with this thing, so it's kind of complicated, right? Even the amount of G's, as you saw, like, it isn't the greatest thing ever, so it's not pulling very well, right? Let me test again. Remember, the Su-27 doesn't have this amount of fuel. The F-15 will be able to take more fuel, but still, 900 kilometers per hour, 900 meters, 6.3 Gs, 6.2, and then it's already down. So yeah, never try to dogfight with external fuel tanks. If you are going to take them, deploy them, okay? Why is not the last one? Why is it not, like, oh my god, why isn't it dropping? Closing bomb bay, I'm not, oh my god. Let me try to do this, hold up. It's just not deploying it. Well, let me do this, and we can respawn with just the conformal fuel tanks to see a little bit of the difference. So now we have the same loadout, the 8 M120s, and just the conformal fuel tanks. And as you see, it's still more than an hour of fuel, guys. So yeah, it is way too much, like way too much. You don't even need this amount of fuel. But take a look on the funny little thing about the fuel meter on the War Thunder real-time information down there, right? It is at 11 minutes, which means that it will drink a lot of this fuel in 11 minutes. And as you see, it's drinking from both the main tank and the conformal fuel tank, which is kind of funny. I think it might be that the conformal fuel tanks is feeding the main fuel tank, I think, or something like that. But yeah, let's get a little bit to the 1000 meters over here. We're gonna go Mach 1 and keep turning just like we did before. I can already feel, of course, the aircraft is a lot better. But just to show the difference, hold up. Come on, a little bit faster, a little bit faster. And there we go. So yeah, from the get-go it's around 2 to 3 degrees per second more already for, you know, something like that. It's even making the pilot pass out, as you see. So it's pulling more Gs, you know, 7.4, 7.5. But as you can see, it is pretty heavy still. It is pretty heavy. 15. It's gonna peak probably right about now. Let's see. 18, 19, 20, 22, yeah, way more. 25 it peaked instead of 20, and then it loses the energy and it starts dropping the nose, right? So, as you see, yes, it is much better, obviously, but it is very heavy still, and that's why I don't think the conformal fuel tanks are really useful, in my opinion. It is still too much. It is too much fuel for an aircraft such as this. The best loadout is still probably to take just the internal full fuel tank, and then if you want to, like one external fuel tank, and then you drop it when you're going to fly. So yeah, the G's, as you said, like you saw, it is like around 7.5 or something. Let me just get to the 900 over here, and then we're gonna pull a little bit more, just to make sure a little bit faster, and it takes its time accelerating. So yeah, 8.3, 7.8, 7.2, yeah, it's already losing a lot of energy. So as you see, it's still very, very heavy, and one turn you are basically out of energy. See how heavy this thing is? Now let's compare to a more realistic, lighter loadout. So I'm gonna use no conformal fuel tanks, no external fuel tanks, 6 M120s, and 2 M9s. A way more realistic environment. Of course, obviously, remember guys, the more you fly, the more you consume fuel, the best the aircraft will turn, you know, but it's just to show the differences between external fuel tanks, conformal fuel tanks, everything together, you know. Again, the good option about the external fuel tanks is that you can just jettison them, right? So again, let's take off. Already feel that the aircraft is a lot faster. Of course, way less fuel. We have 6 minutes of full afterburner fuel. So again, I would still take an external fuel tank. Take at least one, just to get you to the battle. But no conformal fuel tanks, please. The conformal fuel tanks are, oh my god, they are heavy. 1 kilometer of altitude. We're gonna get to Mach 1 and try to do the same turn. As you see, look at 4 minutes and 40. It's like a MiG-29, basically, of time. The MiG, I think it has even less, but yeah. Already 9 Gs. See the difference? I mean, it's like 3 Gs more than before. The pilot is already passing out. 9.3, very good energy retention as well. The turn is around 17, 18 degrees per second, which is pretty good. It's increasing. It's already at 20, so the peak was around what? 20 before. Now the peak is like 31, and it returns to what the peak was when you are using a full fuel tank, right? So as you see, of course, it's still, remember guys, it's still a heavy aircraft. It is still, that's going to be probably the main problem with this aircraft, okay? It's something that you have to worry about. It is heavier than the F-15, and the missiles are heavier as well. And if you want to take not only 4 minutes of fuel, which is probably something to be smart about, you are going to end up, you know, as well having to deal with some extra weight. But at the end of the day, yeah, 10 Gs, as you see, it's pulling a lot of AOA, a lot of turn, and just way better. But it is still quite heavy. Just remember that, okay? Of course, I'm losing fuel here. I'm getting lighter, but still. So now we're going to jump into the Su-27SM and test in 2 options as well. It doesn't have conformal fuel tanks, so we're going to just jump in a full fuel tank and I mean, actually just, yeah, it doesn't even have external fuel tanks, right? So only in a full fuel tank scenario to actually show to you the difference between the turn, the degrees per second, the amount of Gs that the aircraft can pull when they're heavy. And that's the thing. Remember, the F-15 will be an amazing dogfighter, but if you take too many things with you, because this aircraft is supposed to be able to do this and fly for very long, if you do that, you're going to basically throw out of the window all the maneuverability of the aircraft to take fuel and missiles. So be careful when you choose a loadout. So let's get back to the hangar and get the Su-27. So here we are in the Su-27SM, the new Su. We are filled with missiles, R-27ERs and R-77s and R-73s, full fuel tank. And yeah, let's take off and do the same tests to see how much it pulls and the degrees per second, how much Gs it pulls, to actually notice the difference. The one thing that you have to notice is that this tank can actually carry more weight of fuel, if I'm not mistaken. It's just that it consumes more, but it takes more fuel weight, I think. But yeah, 12 minutes, it's basically twice without using the external fuel tank. So the F-15 has that going for it. Although internally it will have less fuel, you can take the external fuel tanks to actually increase that, and you can drop them whatever you want. While the Su-27 is stuck with the internal fuel tank, right? That's the main difference between the two of them in that regard. So let's get to the Mach as well, again. And as you see, it is pulling similarly. Oh my god, it's gonna... But it's pulling a little bit better, right? Not by much. It might be like just a tiny bit, like a tiny bit better. Like 0.1 G more. And it's maintaining the energy a little bit better, but because of that it's not turning as well in the degrees per second, which is funny. So yeah, you can see that it can maintain more of the the degrees per second for more period of time, you know. And it probably, let's see the peak. Yeah, the peak was kind of around the same, 28 to 30, and then it loses the energy and it's basically the same. So that's the thing, guys. This will be the difference between the two aircraft. The Su-27 can actually pull, and F-15 actually, I wanted to say F-15, can actually pull the same as the Su-27. The only problem is that if you take conformal fuel tanks, if you take all the missiles and whistles and bells and everything, you're going to turn worse. Because this is the full fuel load, this is the maximum weight that the Su-27 can have. Of course, at the end of the day, it will have less fuel than the F-15 if it takes everything. But this is the Su-27 that you will see in a battle. This is the max weight of an Su-27. It will be from this to better. While the F-15, depending on your choice, it will be this for worse if you are not careful. So choose your external fuel tanks, your conformal fuel tanks carefully when they are added, because if not, especially with the conformal fuel tanks, you're gonna lose against a lot of things. So let's just do one more turn at 900 here, just to see the amount of G's that we can have. Oh, I need to be higher. Okay. Let me make the engine work a little bit, and then we can just pull. So yeah, even the G's, I mean, it's pulling a little bit less than the F-15 when it's in the right weight, because that's the thing. When it's actually heavier, the Su-27 can keep up with it and not use external fuel tanks. And this can be a good thing and a bad thing depending on how you use it. Just bear that in mind. That was the objective of this video, okay guys, to let you guys know that the Su-27, this will be the Su-27 that you face. It's going to be this for better, because it's gonna lose weight until it gets to the battle, and it's still going to be performing very well. Yes, you will have less fuel, but that's the thing. You are going to face them at this weight. While the F-15, if you choose it wrong, you're going to just handicap yourself into not having the performance of flight. And I'm talking about the Su-27. I'm not even talking about the Gripen. We might as well, like, let me show to you guys what a Gripen can do, for example. Or even a Mirage. Mirage can do very well as well. With the Gripen, for example, just to show to you guys what types of aircraft you are gonna face if you you're not careful, you know. So yeah, it accelerates slower than the other ones, but not by much, and it is pretty good no matter what in the turning capability, right? Let's do 1000 meters. A little bit more. We're gonna do the same test. Keep an eye out on the degrees per second and in the G meter right on your screen. So yeah, takes a little bit more time to accelerate again, but like I said, it doesn't matter too much. Come on, almost. So Mach 1. Oh, it's not it's not telling me the G. But yeah, this is the full fuel load, just like the SU, and it's still pulling 9 Gs. For some reason the degrees per second are not working. Maybe because it's a new aircraft, but and I'm with external fuel tanks. If I take off the external fuel tanks, yeah, it goes straight up to almost 10. So yeah, this is with full fuel load. Full fuel load. So yeah, you can imagine what this thing can actually do if you're not careful. Okay, guys, so if you are going to fly with the F-15, just be careful with the conformal fuel tanks. Yes, they are very cool. They're cool looking, but they are very, very, very heavy if you're not careful. But anyway, let me know in the comments what will be your favorite loadout for the F-15 when the patch comes out. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, and bye guys. See ya.